In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Rendermind, the world's most advanced storyboard AI art generator. Now, before we get started, I have to make a little caveat. If you're looking for an AI storyboard generator where you upload a script and you just sit back, have some coffee, and just let it kind of render everything for you, this isn't your app, okay? This app is created by artists, for artists and creative pros who are tired of rolling the dice and getting snake eyes from apps like Midjourney, Dolly, and not getting what they want. Sure, the images may look great, but what does that mean if you want a high angle and you need to like turn the camera a certain degree and you want like a camera Dutch and you want it in a certain way? This app is for you. And if you want different styles, storyboard styles, realistic styles, then we're gonna get into that as well. So let's get started. So I'm going to first take you guys through the interface, and I know how frustrating it can be to learn new software, so I'm going to take you through this as quickly and easily as possible. So let's get into it. So when you first come to Rendermind, you're going to be asked to start a project. I've already got a project right here, but let's just create a new one. So I'm just going to create that. Going to give it a project name. Let's just call this interface. Create. So then I'm going to basically, you can, rename it, archive it. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let's just, we have a template here. So we have shooting board, comic book creation. So depending on what you're actually going to create, just select the template. So I'm just going to do presentation storyboard. So here we can see that it's creating a presentation storyboard. And I'm going to open this up right here. Okay, so once we're here, we can see we got a default 5 frames. So what I can do is I can simply click this button right here to create new frames, and then I can make this bigger. You can see we have frame descriptions, dialogue, voiceover, camera movement. So we can put all this information right here, and this goes up and down. I also have other views right here. I can see the images here, the descriptions, the status, all the information I just put into these descriptions here. I'm going to be able to see in that other view. So I'm just going to make this smaller. Now I can upload an image here, so I don't necessarily need to use the AI. I can upload images, stock images. I can upload it directly here. I can download, I can delete the frame right here. And this is how I get into the AI art generation right here. So once we're here, we can see a variety of different options. Now, this is the main stage window. Now, if I want, I can just simply put a prompt right here, hit generate, and that's just going to create it. I don't necessarily need to put props into the stage. But the advantage of what we're doing basically is I can put a character quickly into the scene. I have presets right here of standing, walking. So here's walking, for example. And another little side note is you might see in the presets, you might see male, female avatars, but they work regardless of the sex. So it's a unisex type of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click got it right there. So now that I've kind of put it into a kind of a base pose, then I can simply just click the frame and I can or the model, and I can easily move things around on this character right here. Now, as far as navigation, I can left click the mouse and move around the character. It's always focused on the character in the scene. If let's say I was to duplicate this character, which I just clicked that right there, and I put it over here. Now it's still on this focused on this character right here, but if I select this and click the F key, now that character is the focus of the rotation. Now If I put her in a particular pose that I like, then I can select it, hit duplicate, and it's going to duplicate that pose. So I can quickly create a whole scene of people in a pose that I like. Now I can also hide it right here. And I'll get into that a little later, why you would basically want to do that. So for right now, I'm going to hit hide. I'm going to put that right there. So we have all these other characters right here. We have dogs, we have a man, we have kids. And then depending on what program you sign up for, you have access to all of those characters right there. So now on props, here's a chair, for instance. Now, what you want to do with these props is, let's say I want her sitting down. So I'm going to click this character, hit preset. Let's put sitting. Let's put her sitting right there. So what you want to do is, if one of your characters is, let's say, sitting down, or if one of your characters is touching something, or if they're in a kitchen or something like that, you want to use a prop, just simply because you're going to get a better outcome. You can always put her in a sitting pose and then hit a prompt, and it may or may not put her in a chair, but this way it will give you a better outcome. And how this works is we're using control nets. If you're not familiar with that term, what it does is it basically picks up 3D data in a scene, and it creates the algorithm will then create an image based on that data. So to kind of visualize that, if I go to Pro Settings, which is right here, you can pretty much leave these alone. If you're into Stable Diffusion, if you're really an expert in working with things in Stable Diffusion, then you can play with this. We have SVG settings, sampling steps. You can select the sampling method. By default, we've already selected the best models that you can use. So these are the control nets, like open pose. This is really kind of selecting the pose, depth. This is the control model I was telling you about. If it's the character's in a chair, it's going to determine where the character is with that chair. Canny is another setting. This is a little more detailed. If you want to get really more detailed with the settings, we have those settings right here. And we also have an animal setting right here. Again, I will go into detail on this, or more in depth, in another video. So now we have this character sitting in a chair. So here we have general props that you can see right here. Now these are all the props that that we're posting from here at Rendermind. Now we have base props, we have kitchens, we have chairs, just really sort of base things. The cool thing is you can add your own props. So let's say you're in the game industry, you've created some sort of character, you want to upload that character, you want the AI to generate it, then you can upload that here. There are some max sizes of 4 megabytes right here, so there are some parameters regarding that. So that's a really cool feature as well. So if I come over here, I have camera settings. So for example, I can go down to like 9 millimeters right here. I can do a real sort of fish-eyed sort of look, which is really cool. The thing with these camera settings is you can see exactly what you're going to get, and then just a little helpful tool is when you go to render the character, you should also put the camera setting here in the prompt. So if it's a girl sitting in a chair, you're going to put girl sitting in a chair shot on the 9 millimeter lens, which is what this is right here. So we'll put this kind of back more like a 30 millimeter. This is a little more what we're normally shooting with. So We also have angle, so you can kind of Dutch the angle. This is very useful if you're a director and you're really into, what's it going to look like if I Dutch the angle? Then we can actually see that, and then you can enter a prompt, and you're going to get that sort of rendering. This is where we can crop the image if you're in comic books, or if you're wanting to get really kind of some custom sort of rendering with your panels, then this is a perfect option for you. Now we also have our styles right here. We're just adding a very new feature that's called custom styles. So what you can do is you can click this, you can upload 4 images that are very similar of a style that you like, and then what that does is you can kind of create your own style and render storyboards in that style, which is a really cool feature. As far as the main functionality, these are some of the main functions. Up here I can click this arrow right here, and I'm going to go into the next frame. These are different frames. Up here I have image details. Again, this is like if a frame's uploaded, I can put all this information right here. And these are comments. So if you're working with a team, then people can make comments on the images that you're doing, and this is going to be a very powerful collaboration tool. One thing I want to review is how do you upload your images to the storyboard. So what you basically do is when you're in AI art generator, now you can upload it in a couple of ways. For example, let's say I really like this image right here. I can just simply click frame 4, and it's going to upload it right here, right? I can also come here and I can click this, and I can upload an image from the website as well. So you have 2 ways to upload an image to the website. So that is the first sort of overview of the interface. So now let's go over character lock, which is one of the most essential tools when you're using Rendermind. So let's go into the AI art generation mode. I'm going to click this button right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring out a female character. Description, let's do a 25-year-old African American girl wearing flannel shirt, blue jeans, and let's do brown boots, walking down city street. Okay, now let's select the style. Let's do photorealism for right now. Okay, now sometimes if you wanted to go into pro settings, you can do that. Right now there's really no need to do that, but that is an option, and I'll go more into that a little later. So I'm going to hit generate. Now, as we're testing, like I said maybe earlier in the video, in this alpha testing process, the render times are going to take a little bit longer, and you may have to wait in a queue. Once we get beyond the alpha testing, the render times are going to go a lot faster. Okay, once we get a render, we're going to see 4 images that we can pick from. So in here, I'm going to select, let's select this one. And when I select that, I have an option to download it. I can actually upload it to the storyboard, or I can preview it. So I'm going to preview it and check it out. So I like that. Now, what you may notice in preview mode is sometimes the faces may not look the greatest. That's because it's a very low res image. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit enlarge. Now, before you do anything as far as character creator in Paint, I would go ahead and create and select enlarge 4x. If you want, we have super enlarge, and that does it on 4K, or actually, sorry, it does it 8K. But for right now, we're going to do 4K. So let's check it out. Now, when you hit that, it's going to come up, and you're going to see Case sampler, you're going to see face detailer. Again, if you're like one of these Stable Diffusion pros, you can go in there and play around with it. Again, we've selected all the best settings, so you don't need to really do anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit submit. Okay, now we've got the enlargement, so let's preview it and check it out. So when I preview it here, I can see that the face looks a lot better, and I've got a really nice image of this girl walking down the street. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. So now let's activate character lock. So I'm going to select this button right here, and it's going to bring open a new UI. And I can see the girl right here. So this is a girl that I like. I'm going to hit submit. And you know what? Let's give her a name. Let's call her Tiffany. And I could add another character, but since I only have one character, I'm going to hit Save Settings. Now I can see that there's one character in character lock. So now what I can do is I can come up here. I can maybe change the angle like this. Let's put her on the other side. What I want to do is use the same prompt here. And then let's put this in here. Then what it does is it asks us again to select the girl. So if I had 4 people in the scene, I'm going to be able to select which character, the one that I previously saved. And in Rendermind, you can select up to 2 characters to be consistent across your project. So that's Tiffany. I'm going to select her. Here we see the old pose. This is Tiffany in the news pose. I'm going to hit select, and then I'm going to hit generate. Okay, so we have a new render, and we can see our character right here. Now, one thing is the girl's here, and this is our girl right here. We did change position. Now, if you notice, the hairstyle is a little slightly different. I'm going to go ahead and preview this. Now, in AI, especially with character lock or consistent characters, and you'll see this across all the platforms, the consistent characters is never 100%, okay? So it's 80%, it's 90%. Actually, what could have helped us is actually putting the exact hairstyle in the prompt. So let's actually try that. Let's put the same prompt here, and let's actually, because here her hair is pulled up. So let's actually try this. Let's take this, let's kind of change the position, which is more of like a, let's do like a close-up. Let's actually try something where we're actually, let's Dutch the angle slightly. Let's see if this, how this works. And let's come down here and let's put 25-year-old African American girl, hair pulled up in bun, wearing flannel shirt, blah, 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 blah. So let's hit generate and let's see what we get. Also, now you can see there's one character that we've saved. Now, if there was 2 characters, this would be a number 2. But if it's a 1, like the one girl we have saved, you're going to see the number 1 right here. I'm going to hit generate, and then now I'm going to see the girl right here. So that is the first position of Tiffany right here. So I'm going to select this because this is Tiffany. And now I'm going to hit generate. So here we have our next batch. So here we can see the girl right here. And this is a much closer look to the very first one when her hair was pulled up. Now, the shirt's a little off, slightly different. Again, with AI, this is typically what can happen. Now, if you notice, when we Dutch the angle, she's Dutched, but the background's not Dutch. So I'm going to show you how to use pro settings. So the reason this is happening is because the AI is detecting her tilted, but the background, which is 3D, it's not detecting a tilt on that. So let's actually bump this up to 0.6. Let's bump this to 0.7. We're going to make that a little bit stronger, and this should detect the 3D background a little bit more. I'm going to hit apply. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. We do see that, I want to make sure that we can see that angle right there. Okay. Now I've got about a 13 degree, this says 13. So what I want to do is on this next prompt, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to select this, I'm going to put the same prompt, and then I'm going to put shot using 35 millimeter lens at a 13 degree angle, 13 degree clockwise angle. We want to be as precise as possible. So now I'm going to hit generate again. Let's see what we get. So it's asking me to select the character, Tiffany, which I am. I'm going to hit generate, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we have our new generation, our new batch images. So let's check it out. So this is a little bit better right here as far as the Dutch. We are getting a better, like if I go back to the first rendered shot right here, the hairstyle, the jeans, the shirt is slightly changing. Again, with AI, it's never 100%. It's more like 80%. So this image is probably the best one as far as the tilted image right here. That's probably not reading well. I think for the next image, I probably won't tilt the angle. So let's actually take this image, or actually let's take this image right here and preview it. Now her pants have changed. This one right here is the one where she's got the blue jeans. Now, if you notice, when you start looking at the faces and you start looking at the outfits, when it comes down to actually creating boards, you may want to use Photoshop ultimately to kind of composite everything together. Again, in AI, nothing is ever going to be 100%. So, but you're getting closer to a lot closer than you would like using stock images or even before we started using these AI tools. So I'm going to hit preview on this. Now what I'm going to do is let's go back to the stage. Let's actually just get rid of that tilted angle right there. Let's go a little bit wider. Let's bring in a male character right here. And let's put him in a walking pose. And let's put this guy, I think that's the girl right there, but let's put him right here. Let's have him talking to her. Let's put him or her looking over at the guy. Let's turn it like this. And let's put a little bit of space in between them right here. I'm going to go a little bit closer, like right there. So now let's go down and do another prompt. Let's do 25-year-old walking down city street. I'm going to actually take this prompt right here. Now this is something to think about, and this is good to know, is generally in AI programs, and this is Midjourney, DALL-E, whatever you put in the prompt, most of the time it reads from left to right. So if you have more than 2 or 3 characters in a scene, try to put your prompt where it goes from left to right. That way it's going to be easier and you're going to get a more accurate reading. So now I've got the girl right here. Another little thing to cover is up here we can see this little icon right here, which means character lock is activated. So if I go to the next frame, this is going to be the first thing I'm going to see. So I'm going to be able to tell if character lock is carried over to the next frame. Also too, if you notice, this can easily change. I can click this right here and then this doesn't move, which is kind of a good feature. So I'm going to actually get this kind of where I want it to be. I'm going to hit camera lock. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit generate and let's see what we get. So here we can see Tiffany. Since character lock is activated, it's asking me to select where Tiffany is. I'm going to select her. Now we have this guy right here, but we haven't like assigned him yet, so I'm just going to hit generate. Okay, so we got our latest batch. Now let's check it out. So we have different characters here. Obviously, this is the closest one because this is our girl right here. She's this is Tiffany. She's got her hair up in a bun, the flannel shirt. This is our guy right here, which we called out. So I'm going to actually select this frame right here. Let's preview it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this one. Now what I want to do after this enlarges is I'm going to select the two characters. And from this point on, we're going to have two characters in character lock. So let's check it out. Okay, so now that I've got the render of our Caucasian guy and our African American girl, now I'm going to lock the two of them together. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hit character lock. And then to add on, select your new character, reselect it. So got it. Don't show me again. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select both characters again. So this is our guy right here. I'm going to select him. And let's call this character Mike. Okay. I'm going to add another character. And this is, remember Tiffany? Well, we're going to have to save her again. So I'm going to hit submit. And let's call this girl Tiffany. Okay. Because once we select two characters, we got to reselect both of them. Okay. So now I'm going to hit save settings. And see, we see character locks activated. So now I'm going to come up here. And let's just change the, actually let's unlock the camera and let's just kind of go to this other angle right here just to kind of show you guys how this works. I'm going to go back down here. Now I'm going to actually take the same prompt, same description. I'm going to put this right here. Now note that there was a couple of variations, there was a couple of times where I did a couple of renders to get the Caucasian guy and it didn't come up. So what I had to do was come in here and I put in a 25-year-old Irish white guy. So I literally had to put the word Irish in there just to kind of accentuate the look of the character. Sometimes you got to play around with that to get the right ethnicity or the right look that you're going for. So now I'm going to hit generate. And this is going to come up and I'm going to have to select the positioning of everything. So this is our girl Tiffany. I'm going to select her. She's there. This is Mike. I'm going to select him right here. And then I'm going to hit generate. Okay guys, so we just got our latest batch render, so let's check it out. So here we can see our guy right here, which is, and our girl Tiffany and our guy. It's a brand new angle. Here we're getting into a little gender fluidity. And then this shot right here is a pretty good shot. Here again, it's kind of combining genders, which is a little interesting. So for the most part, I think we got either this frame, which we can select right here. That looks pretty good. Of course, he's got some little bit of man boobs right there. Then we got this one right here, which you can see that one right there. Could probably Photoshop that out. I think I'm going to go with this frame right here, actually. So let's go ahead and enlarge this frame and see how that turns out. All right, guys, so we got the enlargement, and this is the frame that we got. This looks pretty good. I mean, we can always Photoshop this out a little bit, the bit of a sort of man chest right there. But I think for the most part, you can tell how character lock works. It's super effective with two people. Again, don't expect 100%, but do expect it to be more consistent than what you might get somewhere else, because we are getting consistent looks, we're getting fairly consistent outfits, and we want to get your feedback. So definitely play around with it and let us know what you think. Thanks. Bye.